Hello guys, Major Colton here with another Dark Souls build video, and today as you saw from the videos before this, was making a Creighton cosplay. And really I went into this character actually thinking about making a different cosplay, but I thought, hey, along the way might as well use a soul vessel and cosplay this character along the way to the next guy I'm doing, who will be a Siegfried from Soul Calibur 4 cosplay. But along the way I was like, hey, while I got the points, might as well knock two birds out with one stone with that soul vessel. So I respec'd into this, killed Creighton and took his armor from here, because I'd rather just got it rather than just go through all the runaround and whatnot and risk not getting it. So let's take a quick look at the stats. And also, as it says in the video title, level soul 50, like 150, but I accidentally did the extra one. But if you look at my carrying, it's like a 51.2. So honestly, you could just take like a good 5 off a good chunk off my vit, and I still would get the under the 70. So really, it doesn't matter. So so sue me, get over it. It's basically a 150 build. That 1 point isn't making a difference. Because honestly, if you make this build, I would highly recommend just taking a couple off the vit and putting it somewhere else. Maybe adaptability or endurance or vigor. Those are the only things I would say put them in. Because you only need that 70% to mid-roll. But let's get down to it. I got 44 vigor, which I combine with the life ring plus 3, which you can just run into the Iron King DLC and just rush this ring pretty much. Don't gotta fight any bosses, nothing. Just gotta fight through some mobs and get the smelter scepter and just put it in the hole, and then you can go get this. And then I combine that with the third dragon ring that you get at the Dragon Shrine, and that ends up bringing my health up to 2,288. And as you can see, without those rings, you'd have like 1851. So whenever I do have them, that's a good, almost 300 health. Actually, 400 health added. So that could mean the difference between life or death. With some big damage, maybe a couple swings worth of health extra. And as for the endurance, I only have 18 endurance, but with the third dragon ring on, that allows me to get by with it and still have 130 stamina. Which allows me to really optimize for this build with those life rings, and the third dragon ring really helps you optimize for this build, so you have the endurance, the stamina and HP of a higher level while still maintaining, while being able to, instead of putting those into your vigor and endurance as much, you can just put them in what matters to help scale your weapon up. And that's really what I like doing, is always use these rings and use the extra experience levels and whatnot, just put it in to help scale the weapon up. As for the vitality, it's at 15, but you can probably get off with, make off with way less than that, because I'm at 51.2%, but I didn't feel like using a second soul vessel to be saving of them. As for the attunement, it's only at 4. You really don't need any attunement, but the thing is, I started as a knight, I think, and they have that, the 4 attunement by default, so I can't go any lower. Might starting the game as a deprived, just so I can, fully maximize my points. But yeah, just don't put anything in attunement, pretty much. As for strength, it's at 49. I found was basically a good place to stop for this weapon, because it started only bringing it up by 1 point of damage every 2 or 3 points at this point. So I stopped here and then started putting the rest of it in faith. Let's skip down to actually, no, let's go to Dex. Dex on this weapon doesn't scale it up pretty much at all for the most part. So just keep that at the bare minimums of what you need. So 12. And let's have, a good 19 adaptability. I seem to, get by with it most of the time, although sometimes I get nicked on the end of my roll. So if anything, I would say what you don't need in vitality, take that off and move it to adaptability, and you'll probably, those few times where I got nicked on the end of my rolls, that probably won't happen for you if you do that. As for the intelligence, you don't need any intelligence. 3 is really just the it's the knight's basic intelligence, I think. And Really, the only thing you're losing when you only have 3 intelligence but all this faith is your magic and dark defense is really low. But if you're good at rolling, you can just roll through that. You don't need to have any defense for it, really, if you're good at rolling and it's not lagging. So, yeah. As for the faith, we have that at 40 because that's where, you know, you can just add for the lightning damage on this weapon because it has latent lightning damage, and then I put also a bolt stone on it, so it took off a little bit of the physical damage and then added more lightning damage than the physical damage that was taken off. And that's really good because, you know, in case they don't have really any elemental defense. But the one weakness of this build would probably be people who, you know, use dark infusion right off the bat of their weapons, so you just really need to watch out for that and probably be mindful of how you'll take more damage to magic infused or dark infused things. So be more mindful and sparingly when you attack, be more cautious and roll a little bit more often. Don't take unnecessary risks and take your time because you do have 2,288 HP. You can afford to, you know, be conservative with your fighting style with this and still become off as pretty strong. And as you can see, let's get to the other 2 rings also. I'm also using the Ring of Blades +2, and this is my Dragon Slayer Crescent Axe is +5, and it already did latent lightning damage, so I added even more lightning damage. I took a little of the physical off and just re-add it as lightning, and I think it adds a base whenever I put it on without the upgrades. It removed probably like around like 1 to 2 ratio. It like added back double the lightning that for the physical it took off. Not sure how it works at +5, but honestly, I find that in case they don't have like any faith, which is a lot of people unless they're a hexer, but then when they're a hexer they have no physical defense, so you're good. So like, because no one makes faith builds anymore since miracles are nerfed, so they're only gonna have faith usually when they're using hexes, and when they use hexes they usually don't have any armor, so it doesn't really matter. So it's really pretty strong weapon, I like to think, because with the Ring of Blades and all that added on, you do like 459 damage roughly per swing, and that's pretty dank because it has basically kind of like the moveset of a greatsword, kinda, but you swing it ridiculously fast. Like those 4 swings I would normally get on the greatsword, basically think about you minus 100 damage, but it takes less stamina to swing, I think, and you swing much faster, like probably like, you know, like 100, you know, like 1.3, like 130% faster. So like, I guess that would actually just be 30% faster technically, but you know what I mean. Like, you can get at the stamina I'm at, I can get a good 4 swings, or if I can backstep and then hit them and then hit that, but you can backstep and still get 4 swings. And what I've noticed is this thing, when you two-hand it and do the R1 on it, that has enough stag damage and then rapid rate of fire that you can get a good like 3 swings in. Actually, half the time I would dump all my stamina into them before I had to roll away. So honestly, if you wanted to use this for a little bit higher soul level combat, you could actually just dump it in stamina and just basically R1 spam for days, because I would just keep swinging until I was out of stamina, and then, you know, at the end of that they've lost like around 1,300 health. One time a guy just got shot, just kept swinging until he's dead or off the bat, as you saw in one of the videos. And let's get back to that, honestly. Also, I have the Ring of Steel Protection +2. Without the Ring of Steel Protection +2, you can see we get around the early 500 ranges on everything, basically. But that's only when you +10 everything. I would recommend +10ing everything, because this is really good armor if you +10 it. And then if you combine it with the Ring of Steel Protection +2, then it's in the 600 range. So it's like wearing a whole extra set of clothes and armor on and over it. So that's really helps with the amount of health we got, like that big chunk of health, and the more endurance we have, the slower that goes down. So it's kind of like having more health in a way, and then we can still roll pretty decently. Then, like I said, you can just, you know, take some of that bit and put it in adaptability. Because right now, the agility seems to be working fine, except for like every now and then when they got a really long weapon, you'll get nicked on the end of your roll. like, and whatnot. And but yeah, as you can see, we don't have much poise with this build, but we do have the armor of medium armor plus, like, pretty much, because this is like this is light medium art, like lightish side of medium armor. So when you upgrade it, it's about like pretty decent. Be like half the defense of what Havels would have. You aren't that? If I remember right, those are around 1200, except for slashes like 1500. I don't know. I never use Havels in this game. I don't know. That armor just looks ugly to me. And I like fashion soulsing this game simply because, honestly, I find that you really don't need to use the most super overpowered armor if you know what you're doing. And the game just seems to be all about who has the best timing. It seems it's really all you need is good timing. But what else is there? Like I said, lightning. You want to, like I said, use the bolt stone on it. You have these 4 rings, and it's full Creighton set, obviously, because it is a cosplay. Don't know why these are here. And as you can see, like, you don't want any attunement or intelligence. Really don't even use them. Dex just barely at 12, and because you don't have anything in these stats, that allows you to really optimize the build, which really makes it incredibly good for PvP at soul level 150. Right as you get all this, right after you get all this, like in the middle of all my videos, I crossed over to the 2 million soul memory. I was fighting in the 1 million soul memory range, which was pretty dang because I have like a fully optimized build because of the stuff that I don't need on it. So that makes it really where you got a huge advantage over the other people, because this build is pretty much completely built by the level 150. Like, any more on it would just literally be a few more in adaptability and just stacking endurance from this point out. Any level above this literally would just be stacking endurance so that you can just keep on swinging, and that really would help a lot probably. But at this level, I mean, the stamina's pretty balanced for this guy right now, so that I can't just R1 spam someone to death like in one go through my stamina bar. That would be pretty ridiculous, but I can do more than half their health, definitely. At least or more than 1200 if I can just land all my hits, which is pretty easy to do because most people, they don't fight many axes, especially this axe, so they're not used to fighting the moveset, so they think that you're going to be slow, but in reality, it's actually pretty quick swinging, little less than the katana, maybe almost the same as the katana. I mean, you don't got the instant draw up, you have like, let's see, you got like probably 0.40 seconds to make the hit, less debatably if you're already swung, or if you roll or something, because roll seems to, that's another thing, the rolling on this thing, you swing and you actually looks like you go a little bit farther with it when you R1 at the end of your roll. As you can see, you keep moving for a little bit, so it's really good for running people down with it, because whenever they're trying to run away or roll away, you can roll after them and just do this and you'll hit them normally. And you can do that pretty reliably, because the way that it looks when you're doing it, it just looks like you're standing up from the roll. Because normally on the roll, you roll and then you do the stand up just like that. But then on this, you do the stand up and then whoosh, all of a sudden you just rip your axe out of your ass and just slam them with it pretty much. As you can see, just normal roll looks exactly the same almost as this, and then just all of a sudden out of nowhere there's an axe to the face. And because of game latency on any peer-to-peer server, like, just say about half a second. This, at the end of the roll, takes less than half a second to go from start to finish. So you actually hit them a lot of the time, simply because it's fast and the game really can't keep up to it because it doesn't use dedicated servers. But as if you like the build, comment, like, subscribe, and I'm about to probably go respec this to start working on the Siegfried cosplay from Soul Calibur 4. Just gotta go grind that Ivory King for some armor, as you will see probably later on. Probably tomorrow I'll upload it. I'll upload this one tonight. And as always, if you like the video, comment, like, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.